Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today we're continuing our series where we discuss the different ways you can experience Elite Dangerous. Today we're going to be going over conflict zones, how you can find them, what to do when you're there, and how to make some money doing it. People have been asking me how I've built my challenger for my playstyle of combat. I'm going to show you guys real quick. For hard points, I've just got a size 3 plasma accelerator, 3 size 2 multi-cannons, and then I've got a bunch of size 1 burst lasers. Because I've been doing some bounty hunting, I've got a kill warrant scanner, I've got 2 shield boosters, and a heat sink launcher in case I get a little hot. For my core internals, I've A-rated everything that I felt was necessary, everything but the life support. And for my optionals, I've got a size 6C bi-weave shield generator and a size 6B shield cell bank. The reason I went for the 6B instead of the 6A is because it gives you 1 extra shield cell bank. Even though it gives you a little bit less shielding, it gives you 1 extra charge, we'll call it. Got 4 size 4 hull reinforcements, a size 3 hull reinforcement, a size 3, a size 2, and a size 2 module reinforcement. Trying to make this thing just a little bit tankier, and you don't need anything other than that just for combat. Make this thing tanky. Alright, so how do we find conflict zones? Most of the conflict zones I find are just because I've been in systems long enough. I tend to stay around the same area of space, and so I kind of know where conflict zones exist because I've spent some time in these systems. For example, I spend my time over in Paris, and in a lot of the surrounding systems, there are conflict zones because there's wars between some of the minor factions. So I'm in Liu D right now, and I know that they've got some conflict zones here. However, if you're having any issues trying to find places with conflict zones you can join in and have some fun, what you need to do is you need to go to the star map. You need to look for state because you're looking for people that are in war or in civil war. If you take the time and remove all of these filters and show just the war and the civil war, you'll see that there's green and orange dots now all over the place. You can go to these locations and they should have places of conflict, and you should even have missions in those systems to be able to say, oh, go fight for this side and kill this specific faction. If you do, we'll give you money and reputation, all that stuff. But you're also getting combat bonds. Just the same way you get bounty bonds, you can get combat bonds and turn those in for money as well. So if you want to try to get as much money as possible, do the exact same amount of work, you could go to one of these locations, pick up some of those missions, pick your faction that you want to, get closer to allied with, and do combat that way. And that way you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone and complete missions at the same time. We're not worried about completing missions right now. We're just going to go into the conflict zones that were near us, have some fun, and kind of show you what to expect when you get there. If you're having issues locating conflict zones within a system that should have them, go over to your navigation panel while you're in Super Cruise, and hopefully you'll be able to find them. Sometimes if you're not in Super Cruise, some things don't show up. The 3 different levels of conflict zones are low, medium, and high intensity. All that means is it changes how many ships are in those conflicts and potentially the rank of the AI pilots in that zone. If you've never done a conflict zone before, I highly suggest you do low intensity just to get your feet wet. And as you get bigger ships and more confident in your combat abilities, you can go to medium, go to high, and you can potentially make a little bit more money with those as well because there's just more ships to shoot at. And once you've selected a conflict zone, in the top right, you're actually going to see under your info panel, you're going to see that it says it's a conflict zone. You're going to see the 2 different factions that are there. So if you have a quest to kill a specific faction, looking at this info panel will be very, very helpful trying to locate a zone that has the factions that you're looking for. There can be multiple different factions fighting each other, and not every conflict zone in that system is going to have the faction you're looking for. So when you get to a conflict zone, you have to choose a side. On the top left panel, you're going to see that there is an option to pick a side. And once you do, you join the side. The people that are part of the opposite faction now become red, and you can legally shoot them and kill them. If you shoot them and kill them before you pick a side, you're just going to be getting a bounty for shooting someone and murder. So you don't want to do that. So as soon as you pick a side, you see that red pops up. And we can now go into combat. There's no need to scan people with the kill warrant scanner. You're going to get like a little audio cue. Hey, welcome to the combat. In the top right, in the info panel up there, you're going to see that there is a green and a red bar. So your job is to try to kill as more ships than they do in, basically you have to kill a certain amount of ships in a certain amount of time. So, tips to conflict zones. Okay, I'm going to be taking it a little bit easy. I'm not going to be going ham into it. Do not go fight and shoot someone that's in a crowd of enemies, because in this game there seems to be a little bit of if the AI tends to want to shoot players more than the other AI. So if you shoot and there's a bunch of friends nearby, they're all going to turn on you. So you kind of need to be careful of your target acquisition. This guy's getting shot by 2 different people, and so that's why I'm actually going to hop on him and bop him. And then it's just combat. And then you fight in your fight style. You try to not die. It's a whole thing. You're gonna see in the top right an extra objective came up. A defeat enemy spec ops wing. So as you do these things, you can kind of help your side by doing these little small objectives in it. And it kind of adds a little bit of randomness to, you know, it's not just going in and shooting with the red dots. There's a little bit more to it. It's a little bit fun that way. Alright, so when you kill somebody, you're going to get a combat bond that then just kind of is added to your transactions that you can then turn in, similar to how you turned in bounties. So that's kind of how you get money. But once you complete the conflict zone, you'll actually get more for completing it as well. So we've located one of the Spec Ops wings, Spec Ops Wing Alpha. I went to the contact panel and found him. He's already in combat, so I'm actually going to hop in on him and see if I can do some damage, take him out, and help our side win. If you ever need to kind of back off a little bit, if you put some distance between you and the AI, sometimes it'll kind of, the other AI will pull a little bit of the aggro off of them, so you can kind of get your shields charged back up. If you're ever in trouble and you're going to die, it's better that you try to get out of the, just get out of there. Jump out of there, hop into Super Cruise. You won't lose your combat bonds that you've made, but if you die, you will lose your combat bonds. But just a heads up, these Spec Ops wings tend to be a little bit harder to kill. I've been slapping this boy pretty hard for the last little bit, and he just barely got his shields down for the very first time. This guy's ranked elite, so he kind of has a little bit more hardcore than just the other regular people here. You don't have to help kill the Spec Ops wings. I just like to, you know, it gives me another objective. Alright, so real quick, you see how there's a huge clump of red boys over there? You don't want to dive in there and start attacking them. You kind of want to let the other AI go in and kind of, you know, do most of the heavy work. But once they get in there and they start doing something, just hop on and help them fight whoever they're fighting. That's, of course, if you're just not comfortable with what you got going on. Maybe you're trying to learn combat a little better, or you don't want to get absolutely just slammed by 5 people all at once. Alright, here's another fun little tip. We are almost out of ammo. We've only got 300-ish rounds in our multi-cannons, but remember we can hold over 2,000. So if you need to make more ammo, you can actually go down here to inventory, go to synthesis, and you can actually make ammo. So this is from my plasma accelerator, and we can do small caliber munitions. This is for your multi-cannons. You select that, you make more ammo. This stuff is made out of iron, nickel, sulfur. These are materials that you locate off of either planets when you're looking for other minerals and materials, or when you're mining asteroids. A lot of these sometimes come out as well. So if you have a decent supply of those, you can actually rearm your weapons on the go. Let's say you've either had enough of the conflict zone because it's taking too long and you gotta go, or you finished the conflict zone, you won or you lost. Now, you can lose or win, and you'll still keep the combat bonds that you had, but at least the progress bar gives you at least something to shoot for. No matter the reason why you're done, you're leaving, it's over, you need to head to a station, turn in your combat bonds, and get your money. Simple as that. We're just going to go to the station that we have here in the system and go ahead and turn in our combat bonds and call it a day. There's not much to combat zones. They're pretty simple. You get in, you shoot, You practice combat. Sometimes you die, and that's okay. You just get back into it. But as a reminder, again, this game is all about having fun. So if you're a combat pilot and that's what you want to focus on, start with bounty hunting, go into combat zones, great. If this isn't your jam, at least you did it and you learned that you'd rather go trade instead of going to combat. Alright, we're here at the station. You gotta go to your contacts, go to your combat bond contact, and you turn them in. We made 750,000. In the grand scheme of things, 750,000 space bucks may not be that much. However, I like combat. I view myself as a combat pilot, and so I like to spend my time doing that, and I find a lot more joy out of it, and I get to make a few bucks on the side. Anyway, guys, that's all the basics that I know about conflict zones, how to find them, what to do when you get there, and then to turn them into the station to combat bond contact. If there's any other information that you have that could be helpful to me or the others, please leave those in the comments below. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask as well. If you liked the video, throw a like down, it helps a lot. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. I spend most of my time over on Twitch, streaming Elite Dangerous and other fun games that I enjoy. So if you want to come hang out with us live, come yell at me, feel free. I'm going to leave a link in the description below, twitch.tv/Skabbard. But go out there, have some fun, blow some people up, and we'll see you guys next time.